audience. Hello everyone, my name is Katie Ma and my topic is being a vegetarian versus eating meat. Throughout this speech, I will be showing you pictures that I took from advertisements that are persuading people to become vegetarian. Did you know that eating red meat can increase your chances of getting Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease, colon cancer, and type 2 diabetes? Not to mention the millions of helpless animals that get slaughtered for our consumption. Being a vegetarian can benefit several things and make the world a better place. Today, I will be persuading you to try to decrease your intake of meat and consider becoming a vegetarian, which will benefit your health, the well-being of animals, and the environment. This topic is very important to me because over the past several years, I have been removing all meat from my diet. I think that going vegetarian can help a lot of people, and I also do not agree with the way that animals have been getting slaughtered. Any way that we can help those animals and the people that are getting sick, I think is a really good thing. I will be explaining the ways that this diet can benefit your health, animals, and how reducing meat consumption can actually help the environment. Also, how to cut back on meat and ways that you can still get the nutrients meat provides us with without the health risks. More people need to know the risks that are associated with meat consumption, the sick ways that animals that we are eating get slaughtered, and how all of this is affecting our environment. There are several health risks that are associated with eating meat, and you have a higher chance of obtaining if you are eating a lot of meat in your day-to-day diet. According to a report published by the JAMA International Medicine, eating red meat, processed meat, can over time increase the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Specifically, 3.5 ounces of red meat or 1.8 ounces of processed meat, an example is a hot dog and 2 pieces of bacon, daily led to 19% and a 51% increase in diabetes risk. Not only is the risk for colon cancer increasingly higher, but that is not the only cancer. Hormones added to the red meat boost breast cancer risk. According to a large study of more than 90,000 women published in the Archives of International Medicine, women who ate more than 1.5 servings, approximately 6 ounces, of red meat per day has nearly double the risk of developing hormone-sensitive breast cancer than women who ate 3 or fewer servings per week. Another thing that can happen to your body is your blood vessels will harden. A compound found in red meat and even used as an additive in some energy drinks called carnitine has been found to cause osteosclerosis, a hardening or clogging of the arteries, according to a study published in the Journal of Nature Medicine. These are only a few of the things that meat is doing to harm your body. Another thing that people need to become aware of is how the animals that we are eating are getting treated inhumanely. Over 56 billion farm animals are killed every year by humans. More than 3,000 animals die every second in slaughterhouses around the world. I have watched several videos regarding animal cruelty in slaughterhouses, and just by watching a few minutes of those videos, I had no desire to eat meat ever again. The way the animals are treated is sickening. They get hung upside down while men with knives slit their necks and watch them bleed out. They get branded and shocked, and their tails and ears are brutally ripped or cut off. Animals are placed in cages no bigger than their bodies and stay there until they eventually die or are big enough to get slaughtered. Chickens get thrown in overcrowded places with hundreds of others and are pumped with hormones that make them grow bigger in half the time that they would naturally. There are 3 main ways that these animals get slaughtered: electrical, stunning, gaseous, and mechanical. Each of these are almost never done with anesthesia, and none are humane. Most people would not realize how much of an impact our meat consumption would have on the environment, but our world is getting more polluted and sparse because of it. A quote taken from The Guardian states, "The average British carnivore eats more than 11,000 animals in their lifetime, each requiring vast amounts of fuel, land, and water to reach the plate. It's time to think of waste as well as taste." People claim that because the human population has been eating so much more meat over the past few years, they believe that it is causing deforestation, the pollution, the poisoning of air and oceans, and overheating of the planet. Another problem is that farms are using up extreme amounts of water. A quote taken from The Guardian says, "Eat a steak or a chicken and you are effectively consuming the water that animal has needed to live and grow." The vegetarian author John Robbins calculates that it takes 60, 108, 168, and 229 pounds of water to produce 1 pound of potatoes, wheat, maize, and rice, respectively. But a pound of beef requires around 9,000 liters, or more than 20,000 pounds of water. Farming, which uses 70% of water available to humans, is already in direct competition for water with cities. But as demand for more meat increases, there will be less available for both crops and for drinking. The solution to almost all of these problems is quite simple: become a vegetarian. If you are not willing to remove all meat from your diet immediately, there are several things that you can do. There are certain foods that can give you the same nutrients that regular meat does, and they surprisingly do not taste bad. Many grocery stores now have a vegetarian section in the freezer aisle, so you can stock up on the good food that will actually benefit your body, other than meat that all it does is harm it. Cheese, tofu, beans, and nuts are also all very high in protein and can be eaten as a substitute for meat. Also, by cutting down on meat, that means that less animals will get slaughtered. One person is not going to make a drastic difference, and animals will still die, but if more people decide that being a vegetarian is the right diet for them, it eventually will. There are so many benefits to cutting back your meat intake. There are even studies that say that you will live a longer and healthier life because of it. The health benefits alone should persuade you enough to at least try to become a vegetarian. You have a decreased chance of getting certain kinds of cancers, type 2 diabetes, and diseases involving your heart. An added bonus with this diet is that it can also help you lose weight and save money. According to The Guardian, meat eaters get increased chances of obesity, cancers, heart disease, and other illnesses, as well as a hole in the pocket. A meat diet is generally considered twice as expensive as a vegetarian one. In the long run, if many people decide that being a vegetarian is the right thing for them, it will also benefit the lives of animals. If you still would like to eat meat but would like to cut back, there's also places that kill animals humanely. And I highly recommend you getting your meat from reliable vendors like that. And finally, the environment will also benefit from this. Less animals will be emitting methane and other greenhouse gases. There will be more areas around the world that are still covered with trees that will not be knocked down to make room for factories or slaughterhouses. There will also be a lot more water circulation because it won't all be going to those animals. And overall, the planet will be a less polluted and better place to call home. By becoming a vegetarian, you will be helping yourself in more ways than you can imagine. It will make you feel better and also decrease your risk for many different harmful illnesses by eating better. And if that is not a good enough reason, you will also be helping the millions of helpless animals getting killed every day, and our planet. Being a vegetarian benefits people more than they would think, and I believe that everyone should at least try to cut back on meat because you will be helping more than just yourself. Thank you so much for listening.